Men often ask the question, I fell in love with a girl, got attached, made every possible mistake, and now she's dumping me. What should I do? These guys don't yet realize that falling in love means instantly losing all chances of having a normal, healthy relationship. Honestly, even flirting at a reception with the Queen of England is more appropriate than getting clingy with a woman. Because being in love doesn't give you any advantages, it only brings you problems. There is another category of men. They've already started to study the mechanics of relationships and know perfectly well if you fall in love, you are doomed. If you lost your head, you are become a dependent puppy. That's why these guys ask a more advanced question. What should I do so I don't get attached so quickly? And what if the attachment is already there? The recommendation here may seem simple. Don't overvalue her, shift your focus, and practice dating. A reasonable level of significance at the start of communication is the foundation of success with a goal. At the very beginning, there is only mutual interest. Love isn't even on the table yet. You can give your communication meaning and regulate the balance only after several months, and even then only within reasonable limits. But if everyone were capable of being reasonable in relationships, my channel wouldn't even exist. So let's break down how to behave with a woman so you don't get overly attached yourself while at the same time making her more drawn to you. To build an effective strategy with women, you need to start with the first masculine quality, control over your own emotions and feelings. A trained mind includes the skill of slowing down emotions. This ability allows you to see the situation strategically and respond appropriately to what's happening. Without this skill, emotions take over and they suppress the intellect even further. That's where the phrase blinded by love comes from. So, falling in love is basically losing control and losing adequacy. Does this often happen to you with every new girl? Or have you had relationships where your mind actually stayed in working order? And now, those situations where you honestly didn't care about the girl and everything somehow worked out, we're not interested in those. Her attraction in that case was the product of your indifference, not your personal qualities, skills, or any real experience you had. What we are interested in is the exact story when you got hooked on a woman, when you felt how your emotions pumped the blood away from your brain into other organs. Those conditions are the real battlefield. Only there will you understand what you truly are in a relationship. The way a man behaves with a woman he is genuinely interested in reflects his personality. It's like a test. Will he manage to control his weakness, or is he ready to trade his dignity for his fleeting desires? Even strong, smart, wealthy, and charismatic men can fall into the trap of infatuation. The nature of passion spares no one, except maybe one category of people, those who are determined to preserve their dignity, even when the tempting prospect of intimacy and a dive into a teenage-like world of emotions is on the table. Such a man has no internal craving for women's attention, and in fact doesn't need it. Sometimes he even ignores it altogether. Women recognize such men instantly. They have a kind of radar, like a submarine detecting ships on the surface. When a lady pings a worthy man, she sends him a signal of her interest. If he notices it, he can respond simply yes or no, without any attempts to impress her. He understands perfectly well that no matter how beautiful she is, a relationship and future prospects are more important to her than to him. And if she doesn't need them, well, there are plenty of other women who do. I often hear men say that with some girls everything works out easily, but with the really beautiful one, something always goes wrong. They assume that a high status, glamorous woman gets so much attention that you need a special strategy for her. That's a lie. Her attractiveness is nothing more than a test of whether you've got balls. The potential to get hooked on such a woman, yes, it's high. She has a constant stream of male attention, a whole chorus line of guys who already played a losing game with her. There's always a crowd of rich boys in that line up, men who look impressive, but are basically printer-made cutouts. She uses these poor guys like costume jewelry. So little Johnny wrapped around her finger, Mike following her around like a wallet on legs. But for her, you are just a new specimen. So, her reactions to you will be standard. If you start simping, welcome to the horse line. If you behave effectively, she'll get attached. And if she doesn't, out of pride, even better, you dodged a bullet, because sooner or later she would have tried to sign you up on her private fan club of little bunny boys anyway. So you just saved your time. And now, think of the most glamorous woman in your life. Know this. She once chased after a man too, needed him and cried into a pillow. Hard to imagine? Then, buddy, you still believe in the myth of independent, proud women. That belief is dangerous as an unbuckled saddle belt in a head-on crash. What kind of beauty? You'd better walk on the opposite side of the street. Don't go near her, she'll eat you alive. A woman like that will become emotionally dependent only on a man who doesn't give a damn about her looks, pride, or personality. So, in other words, she'll be crazy about the man who doesn't place her on a pedestal. So, how do you avoid overvaluing a woman from the very start? That's a good question, and I'll try to give you a detailed answers in 4 points. First, practice your communication. Evaluate a woman realistically. Control your thoughts and fight your weaknesses. So, in practice, test every video from this channel in real life. Don't take my word for it, so go and check. Those who take words on faith and think that makes them smart are casually deep in the hole of their own childness and weakness. Our goal is to remove the primary reason you get hung up on a woman. Mystery. So when a woman's behavior surprises you and leaves you stunned, it grabs your attention, it makes you invent imaginary virtues for her and puts you onto a state of dependence. So how do you fight this mystery? The skill of effectively reading a woman's behavior can be downloaded in your brain with a single mouse click. And even if you watch this whole channel, you won't magically turn into Mel Gibson from What Women Want. If a woman feels like a mystery to you, it means you back the ability to forecast women's behavior. But that's a skill you can train, like in a game. So you take a quest, go on 2 dates, and the goal of those dates is simply to figure out what kind of girl is in front of you. You complete it and you earn +1 to forecasting, +2 to eloquence, +1 to intelligence. In your personal practice, you need to see dozens of times how typical female reactions play out in response to your behavior. The first time a tip from this channel works in real life, you'll be surprised. But when the 10th girl in a row shows you the same reaction, you'll start to realize that female mystery is nothing more than a simple illusion. Learn to predict women's behavior because you can only manage when you can predict. That's the key idea. You can confidently predict that cold water will flow from the blue faucet, right? Which means you can manage to manage your shower temperature. In the same way, once you find these levels in women's emotions, dates will become routine for you. That way, your mind will stay clear, your choice of a woman will be rational, your behavior effective, and you'll also brighten up your everyday life with new experiences. So we live in a world where people have started mistaking awarenesses for real experience. So just think about this. I watched it, so I know it. I heard it, so I can do it. By that logic, after watching Terminator 2, you could consider yourself someone who saved the planet from destruction alongside Schwarzenegger. In reality, though, you are just bathing in your own ego. And you know who most avoids contact with the real world? Those who imagine themselves to be very smart, knowledgeable, and cool, but are afraid the illusion will shatter to pieces the moment they step outside. Through practice, you'll purge any excesses, ego you might have. You learn to be honest with yourself and at the same time build a foundation. This way, you can gain a genuine skill that actually brings you tangible benefits in real life. Second, build a realistic system for evaluating a woman. A guy who melts at sweet talk and thinks he can see in her eyes that she wants kids with him, is just lying to himself, drunk on his own inflated sense of importance. He doomed, completely defenseless against manipulation and her mood swings. Such a dude will be shocked when her vows of eternal love turn sour and start to stink like spilled milk in a broken fridge. A healthy evaluation system isn't built on words or glances, but on her actions. Focus on whether she actually invests in the relationship, whether she is fit for life as a partner, her willingness to give, her care, her decency, her ability to create and wrap you in warmth. That's what truly matters. As long as you keep your attention there, your brain stays switched on, and you have a chance not to get hooked. Judge a woman by her actions. Of course, this only works if your head is occupied with useful thoughts, not some pink cocktail of romance and lust. Third, control your thoughts. Female beauty scrambles some guys' brains. The ones too weak for looks basically fall in love with a woman all by themselves. Even before the first date, the dude's already fantasizing about cutting, binge watching shows, and only leaving bed to grab a bite before diving back under the covers. So his fantasies get so heated, his phone nearly slips out of his sweaty hands when he looks at her picture. He starts thinking about her non-stop. Imagine a shared future, listening to love songs while picturing her. After just one date, he's already whining about how much he missed her, how badly he wants to see her again. He gushes about his beloved to his friends, his mom, and even his neighbor Bob down the hall. So worst of all, he has zero doubt that she's the one. In his mind, he's already married her. To avoid turning into a drooling infant at the start of a relationship, find reasons not to take her too seriously. Actively look for them. So don't stalk her social media, even at the very beginning. Don't think about her, don't discuss, don't fantasize, doubt whether this interaction even makes sense. Fill your free time so there is no space left for daydreaming. Let your work, business, or hobbies be more exciting and engaging than some random woman you barely know. A very important practical point: when your free time is limited, never rearrange your plans for women. For example, if you have a scheduled workout or a trip with friends for fishing, you're busy with that today and the woman will wait. This is a true marker that you have everything under control. This is the only healthy approach to a woman at the beginning of an acquaintance. Finding it hard to reduce thoughts about a woman even when busy. Imagine that every subsequent meeting with her might be the last, and don't make joint plans beyond a week. Always find a reason to doubt whether she's truly right for a relationship. Avoid situations where you spend more time or money on her than planned. Don't dive in head first. Show your emotions very carefully. By following these recommendations, you train the very core and dignity within yourself. Ignoring them, you become a character in a soap opera about unhappy love. Maybe this list of simple actions feels overwhelming and it's hard to you to act this way. That means you don't have a choice of women. A shortage, like bananas in the Soviet Union. There are a few around you, so how to handle this? Go back to point one. Practice with many women. If it's difficult to follow what I've just said, practice more broadly. And if even then you continue falling in love too quickly, it means you are lying to yourself. You are placing value on women's appearance and emotionality. So reorient yourself. Learn to value qualities that matter more for relationships. As they say, the path is mastered by the one who walks it. Start working on your emotions. Otherwise, dependence breaks up and suffering await you. Fourth, fight your weakness. What is an emotionally driven man? He's someone who doesn't want to deny himself his desires. He's filled with self-pity. For example, he sees a woman, she's surrounded by her dear parade of male friends with no altruism on her part. An emotionally driven man won't notice these warnings signs. He'll justify the woman just to keep seeing her. Otherwise, if he stops lying to himself, he'll realize that this beautiful woman should be let go. But he wants this specific woman with emotions, sparks, feelings, but with a slouched, submissive life philosophy. You can only overpower yourself deeper and deeper. And that's basically what you've been doing all this time. So if you romanticize relationships, you will still fall in love, in quotes, and become dependent. You need to understand this. You feel your weakness pulling you toward attachment, fight it. Act against your own weakness. There is only one path. Otherwise, you won't change yourself, deny yourself. If you continue indulging your desires and justifying yourself, you will lose all chances for deep personal change. Now, imagine you've already zoned in. You feel a loss of control, worry, and that your attraction to a woman is above a healthy threshold. What should you do? Those with experience know this always ends badly, and it simply can't end any other way. They also understand that no advice will magically influence the situation. The only thing that makes sense is reducing the significance of this woman in your mind. If you can do that, there is a chance. If you can't, you lose. Men often think that drastic measures aren't necessary. It's scary, I'll just go with the flow to the shore called Slouch Harbor. But when the boat docks and he's taken advantage of, the guy somehow complains about bad women. Such complaints about tricky women are self-deception. You were the one who wrote them, madman. So if you've already lost the significance balance, and a woman has cooled off, shows aggression, or just starts ghosting you, nothing but ignoring her will help. Stop communicating with her, watch the channel, and after a few months you'll know what to do. If we're talking about a situation where your significance shot up, but you haven't yet destroyed the balance, maybe you saw her 2, 10, 15 times, then you have 3 options for action. First, go on a vacation, naturally, without her. Fully reset yourself. Not everyone can manage such a full reset, but it can help. You lower the significance, return, and continue interacting more reasonably. Second, fight the growth of significance now. Try not to mess up. Important note, you won't bend her or force her to respond. You'll still lose control if you doesn't manage yourself. The goal isn't to force her. It's to hold yourself with dignity and wait for the right moment to start ignoring. Wait for her mistake, then use the ignore as a reason to reset. Ideally, of course, you'd find a woman with whom ignoring isn't necessary, but for practice, problematic cases will do. Third option, transferring emotions. I'm not exactly recommending this, just saying it can work. If you go on a dating site and just chat with someone else, you might find an emotional substitute, a woman who also interests you. Then shift all your attention, thoughts, and communication from the current woman to the new one. In any case, fight illusions and overconfidence. Test your mental image against real life through physical actions. Take steps in practice, and results will definitely come. Remember, first a step, then the path. And I wish everyone successful practice. Thank you all very much for watching.